I stopped trying to work harder and now I make $32,000 per month at 20 years old, right? And an example that I want to give you to tackle this belief that you have that you need to work harder and do more work and do more content, do more DMs, etc. to get the revenue goal that you want is that you've probably been working 10-hour days at some point in the past and you do more of everything. Like I said, more content, more DMs, more outreach, more sales calls. And no matter what, your revenue just stays the same and you just can't seem to figure out why, right? And the problem is you think that doing more equals more money, but that's just simply not true because that's what I faced for the last 1 year of me being in business and it kept me stuck at $10,000 per month for that whole year. I couldn't break past it. And even if I broke past it slightly, I'd get to 11 or 12K per month. I'd very, very quickly drop back down. And I just couldn't seem to figure out why. No matter how much work I did, I could not break the 10K a month mark. But changing this one belief that I'm gonna show you in today's video exploded me from 10K to $32,000 per month within just 4 months of launching my new consulting offer. And as you can see here, here's the proof. This is the amount of money that I earned in November, 24.4 thousand Great British pounds, which equates to $32,000. And the belief that I used to have was if I want to scale, I need to do more of what's already working. So if I'm already posting content, I need to start posting twice a day. If I'm sending 100 DMs a week, I need to start sending 200 DMs a week. If I'm taking 3 sales calls a week, I need to take 6. And I thought that that's what would get me to the 20, 30, 40, 50K months. But I was completely wrong because no matter what I tried, no matter how many more sales calls I took, I just could not break past 10K a month. And it resulted in me sending more DMs by myself, posting more of the same content, taking on more clients. But my revenue looked like this, right? It would stay the same. And even if it went up, it would very quickly go back down. And then it might go up again and it'd go back down. And it was just inconsistent, but always fluctuating around that 10K a month mark. And I could not break past it. So even if I did, I quickly dropped back down. And the shift that got me to $32,000 per month wasn't working harder. It was actually stopping trying to do more on my own. And instead of trying to do more and do more work and work more hours, I created leverage within my consulting business. So most 10K a month or 8K a month, 5K a month, wherever you're at below 10K a month, most of them business owners, they operate like a hamster wheel, right? If they stop running, the hamster will stop spinning. So if they take a week off holiday, leads stop coming in. If they take a day off, the lead flow might be down the next week. And they have to always keep running to keep the hamster wheel moving. And it's a stressful way to run your business because you literally can never remove yourself. You can never take a break without the business taking a break. And that's what I was stuck in for a year. And the faster I ran, the faster the wheel ran, but then it also meant I had to keep up with it for it to stay that speed. So I decided to move to a new method where I wanted to create leverage with all of the work that I was doing. So rather than having to spin a wheel, I could do less, but get more of an output. And here's the 2 things that I changed within my business that scaled me to $32,000 per month after changing the belief that I needed to work harder to achieve my revenue goals. The first thing I did was I hired a coach. So I paid someone who had already done the walk that I wanted to walk. He'd already scaled up to 80K a month within his consulting business. He knew how to do better content than me, better systems and create more leverage. And so I paid him. And I'd spent a year before that trying to figure it out all on my own. I thought that I would be able to eventually figure it out. You know, it might only take me a month to get to 20K a month. And no matter what I tried, I just obviously didn't. So I was still stuck. And that's because I was tunnel visioned. Because when you're running your own business, it's very difficult to see what problem you need to fix next because you're always putting out fires. You're always in this tunnel trying to solve a problem like that. And it's because you're so in the mix of doing everything that you don't know which problem to solve first. And it creates this confusion of like, I don't know what to do next. I have 100 problems that I could solve. I don't know what one to solve first. Or I have 100 things on my to-do list. I don't know which one I should do. And that's exactly where I was at. And I was constantly changing things. I changed my offer. I changed my LinkedIn profile. I changed my content. I changed my outreach strategy. I changed my sales call script, thinking that they were the problems and nothing worked. But having a coach gave me a bird's eye view on my business. It meant that he could look in on it from a bird's eye point of view and say, right, this is your biggest bottleneck, let's solve that first. Then let's solve this. And it meant that I was ticking off problems that I needed to solve way quicker. And the first thing he said to me was my offer needed improving, right? Because without a good offer, my content wasn't landing properly. My DMs were harder, right? People weren't responding as much or they wouldn't book in a call and had a lower close rate. And it was like pouring water into a bucket with a hole at the bottom. No matter how many leads I got in, if the offer was shit, people would just fall off because they didn't want what I was trying to sell them. And so we built an offer that A, solved a way bigger burning pain for my ICP, but B, had a more tangible desired outcome. And as you can see, my new offer now is helping founders hit $25,000 a month consistently. And the second that I changed this offer, I was able to increase my prices because people wanted it more. And that meant that I jumped from 10K to 20K within 1 month. And that was a pretty big change, obviously. So the second thing that we changed was my content wasn't converting, right? I'd get likes, I'd get impressions, I'd get followers. I'd get people commenting, wow, this is really good content, but people wouldn't buy from me off the back of it. And it's because I had a big audience, but low amount of buyers, right? I had 20,000 followers, but barely any of them were converting. And it's because I had a lack of trust with my audience. People in this day and age of the coaching, consulting, the info space, they don't trust anyone anymore. Everyone's been burned. AI can write good content these days. Free value has been everywhere. The same offer is with 100 people, and people don't want to work with people that just have a good offer anymore. They want to work with people that they like and that they trust. And so I stopped just posting free value content and started building trust with who I am as a person, as a human, my values, my beliefs, my philosophies. I started sharing what I did on the weekend. I started sharing that I like spending time with my family and my girlfriend, etc. And that created this trust with me as a human, not just as an expert. For example, this post here that I posted on LinkedIn, I spoke about how I enjoy spending time with my girlfriend, spending time with my family, how I want to provide for them in the future. And it got 35,000 impressions, 308 likes, 63 comments, etc. But it also got me a ton of ICP followers because they resonated with me. And that post probably built a ton of trust that I can't see right now, but on a sales call in a week or two's time might create that trust that I need to get them across the line. And so now I have a big audience, but I have more buyers. I'm converting a larger percent of them because I have that trust with a larger percent of my audience. And that obviously meant that I could scale up a lot quicker. The second thing that I did once I changed this belief that I needed to work harder was I hired an appointment setter. Before, I was the outreach system. If I stopped, the leads stopped, right? I'd be sending all of the DMs myself, doing all the conversations myself, and it worked well because I could send voice notes and I knew my ICP really well. But again, I was just doing all of the low leverage tasks by myself. And so my leads and revenue looked like this, right? 1 month it'd be really good, next month it'd be really, really bad. Again, up, down, up, down, up, down. And it was because if I was sick, I'd have to have a day off. If I was on holiday, I'd have to have a week off. And it meant that my leads were affected because I was one that was controlling that flow of leads. And outreach is one-to-one. Right? If I'm doing outreach to someone else, I'm literally only speaking to one person at a time, which means it's a low leverage task. And as a founder, as a coach, as a consultant, as a business owner, you want to create as much leverage in your business as possible. And so you want every single task that you're doing to move the needle as much as possible. And there's a saying that I've heard, which is, what is the 20% of tasks that you can do that move 80% of the needle? And they are the tasks that you want to be focusing on. So an example of some high leverage tasks that you can be doing are LinkedIn content, right? If I post a LinkedIn post, it could go to 2,000, 3,000 people. YouTube videos, again, build a ton of trust with my audience. Improving the delivery of my service, right? I could maybe drop my calls from 4 a month to 2 a month. Then I'm buying back time. Or I can improve the delivery so I get more client results and I can raise my prices. I can refine my offer to, again, raise my prices. These are all high leverage tasks. But if you're in the trenches, you're fighting fires every single day. You're always sending 60 DMs. You're always writing the next post. You're always sending that email out to your potential client, which means you probably have no clue what to fix next because, again, you're tunnel visioned. And you're doing a load of tasks yourself that just don't move the needle that much, right? Of course, outreach moves the needle, but again, it's one-to-one, it's low leverage. So there's this analogy that I like to use, right? Imagine you're digging a hole. One guy has a shovel and he needs to dig this hole as deep as possible, as quickly as possible. If he just has one shovel and he's by himself, he'll dig a decent sized hole, but he's gonna have to work very hard to dig that hole because it's gonna ache his back, it's gonna make his arms ache and burn, etc. Then there's a second guy. He has a small digger, right? And he's digging a bigger hole with a lot less effort than the guy with the shovel because he's literally just sitting in a nice warmed up cabin, moving some sticks around and maybe getting shaken up a little bit over the rough terrain, but he's digging a big hole. And then there's the third guy. He has this huge excavator, doesn't feel a thing when he goes over bumps, digging huge amounts of dirt out of the ground every single time he moves that one little button. And the analogy point I'm trying to make is, who dug the biggest hole? It was the one who put in the least amount of effort. Because the guy with the excavator had the most amount of leverage. And the one with the digger had even more leverage than the guy with the shovel, but slightly less than the guy with the excavator. And so it's this point of like, if you can build the most amount of leverage within your business, you can do the least amount of effort, but get the biggest return. And so this is what a setter did for me, because I was now getting consistently booked calls. If I had a day off and they weren't having a day off, I still had leads coming in. I still had sales calls for the next day. And it meant that my calendar looked like this. I'd always have calls booked in for the next day or the next week. And that meant that I was a little bit less stressed around how much money am I going to make next month? Am I going to get clients next week? And that just caused me a lot of peace around running my business as well. The second thing that hiring a setter did for me was it gave me my time and energy back, right? I could now focus on growing my business again because rather than being tunnel vision and having to do this, do that, put out a load of fires, I could now go from a bird's eye point of view and look at my business and think, right, what bottleneck needs fixing next? Is it that maybe I need to train up the set a little bit more? Is it that my content needs to reach more people? Is it that I need to improve my sales calls? It just meant that I could literally look at my business from a bird's eye point of view, fix a bottleneck way quicker. And doing them two things, hiring a coach and hiring a setter to give me more leverage within my business, is what got me to 24,000 Great British pounds or $32,000 in the month of November. Even though I was stuck at 10K a month for over a year, and I was trying to do more, I was trying to work hard, I was trying to put in more hours, do more DMs, do more content. The one thing that moved the needle for me and actually increased my revenue was creating leverage within my business and doing less work. I only work 6 to 7 hours a day now, whereas before I was working 10-hour days, and I make twice as much, if not more, than I was before. So the core takeaway from this whole video that I want you to go away and actually implement into your business is trying to do more or do it on your own and figure it out yourself is pointless, because leverage will scale you up way faster. And every month that you try to figure it out on your own and you try to do more on your own, you're missing out on your potential. Let's say you're at 10K a month right now and you want to get to 30K a month as well. Every single month that you're trying to save 5 or 6 or 7K investing into a mentor, you're costing yourself 10K every single month that you don't hit 20K a month. And over a year, that's an extra 120K a year that could have been in your bank. But because you're scared to invest 10K into a mentor that can tell you what to do and how to get to where you want to get to way quicker, you're missing out on 10K every month. So just think about that. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful. If you want to work one-to-one with me on scaling up your consulting business, click the link in the description or in the comments and you can book a call. I'll see if you're a good fit. If not, go onto my channel. I have a load more videos on how I've scaled up my consulting business to $32,000 a month.